Om. Welcome to Satsang. You hear this bird? It's called an oropendula. And it took me a very long time to pronounce that, and I'm not sure I have it right still. But so beautiful and has such a beautiful and varied call. And it has a long yellow tail, so I call it the brahmachari bird. The Aurobindo brahmachari. I think it's actually called oropendula. And they come here with the toucans and the parrots, and so many there are. Yesterday in the morning, I have a little app, Merlin app. And it can tell you all of the bird calls and tells you what the bird is. It's remarkable. I think there were 14 or 15 different species of bird in about 15 minutes. That's the parrot. So, I want to share something with you this morning. And was on the contemplation early this morning about the exchange in satsang. So what you come prepared to give, your donation, you could say, and what you are prepared to receive. Your donation is your worry, your anxiety, your anger, your self-judgment, your judgment of others. You bring that, this is your tithing to satsang. You bring that to me. And in exchange from satsang, you can take self-compassion, contentment, love, peace. Some tranquility. And you keep coming and we keep making this exchange. You see, I know what to do with your anger and your worry. You will also someday. So for now, you just bring it here. Call it your offering. This is truly what satsang is. And I don't say this as a theology or as a hypothesis. This is what I did. I brought what no longer served me and I offered that. Laid it at the altar, at the feet of God and Guru. And by offering that, now I was empty of the very thing that blocked me from receiving. Receiving's a bit of a funny thing too, isn't it? Because it's really just awakening, revealing. Though in truth, there's no real exchange actually. But it seems like that, and the ritual or the intention of it is so profound and so powerful. And in reality, you're not giving anything. I'm not giving anything. You're not receiving anything. It all just is already there. But it's a really sweet little kabuki that we do, a little dance on a stage of a ritual that's deeply symbolic of something very, very meaningful, which is what it is you already have, who it is you already are. But in this play of satsang, you'll come to know it in yourself. I thought that was kind of fun. This morning in my contemplation, a fun way to think about the exchange of sat and Sangha, of teacher and student, guru, disciple. So the real tithing is you bring your ego and surrender it, and then you receive. But really, it is revealed what is you prior to this conditioning. Okay. So we just finished a week-long retreat here in Trinidad with so many of the Sangha. And even some have come back to be in Satsang this morning. Apparently they haven't had enough of lot of tears shed this week. Lot of tears, beautiful sacred tears shed. And I was musing, why do you spend so much money to come to such a beautiful place to cry? Well, because this is Satsang. And you don't need to travel anywhere. You just turn on your Zoom. It's not really different. And if you learn to tune in this same way, then the same process is happening without the time and expense of traveling. Although it is really special to be together and for so long, more potent. But it's exhausting, isn't it? Yes. Some nods of assent. Used to be your time off would be spent creating beautiful experiences called vacation. Now you're coming to shed experience called freedom. Do you know, maybe 2 years ago now, my goodness, how time flies, we issued an edict. Not really, but there was a guidance. Never wipe a tear from your cheek. Let it drip from your chin. It is a sacred offering to the divine. So, but we provide so many tissue boxes. Krishna Priya went, and I don't know how many tissue boxes. I said, what are all of these for? She's like, Nataraj. Pay attention. You're allowed to blow your nose. I was joking that my own path was the path of snot and tears. But if you let them flow, these tears of suffering turn into the salty tears of suffering turn into the sweet tears of bliss. Truly they do. In one talk I heard from Paramahamsa Yogananda, he says, trade your salt for sugar. The salt of the world for the sugar of the divine. Your tears also. Did you hear this? Tears can be salty and sweet, and some mix. Such a beautiful puja tears are. A beautiful offering to the indwelling divine. And as you cry, you can imagine these also are these tears are linked to the beginning drops of the inner puja, the inner abhishekam. At first salty, then becomes so sweet. So there is the tears without exists first within. The manifest tear is actually only but an echo of the tear. And so it flows inside of you and is so purifying. So healing. Maybe I should have shared that at the beginning of the retreat. Each one, anyway, you don't need me to tell you any of these things, only to give you some comfort as you dare into your courage of surrender. But you don't need me to tell you anything. I didn't. Nobody told me this and found it out on my own, quite in that direct dialogue, that intimacy with the indwelling divine. This will also happen to you. Okay. Oh, Mama. Now, this is your satsang. You come, you can go, you need to go, you can go, you can come and go, you can have your camera off, you can have your camera on. Any way that you can be here, it's good, and know you're welcome. Best way to be in satsang is with your inquiry, your camera on, fully present. Every way is good. Good, better, and best. So you do what you are ready for. Best is participating in inquiry. Camera on. Every question is from you. And even if the question isn't in you, you can't find the question asked by somebody else, the inquiry posed by somebody else, the answer, the response, the facilitated inquiry is for you. You know, you will experience this directly, and then you will know, I am in satsang. I'm in satsang. Okay. Good. You are not the runner. You are not the hider. You are not even the seeker. And you are not vulnerable. What is exposed to you is not you. It is simply conditioning. Feels like you. Don't we all know it? I don't deny this. Feels very much like you, and this you, it appears as it appears. Yes, seems very real. But I want you to know that inkling to run, it's very real, and we all relate to it. Yes? Feeling exposed, overshared, perhaps you would say in a psychological sense. In satsang, it's different. In Sangha, it's different. There's no such thing as oversharing. It is just an expose, a release, a surrender. In the world, somebody would take this vulnerability and use it against you. Yes? As some way to push off of you to elevate themselves. That's why the world loves the victim. Maybe I go too far. So this is released. You see your vulnerability, you release your hiding, you don't run, you simply stay, and not wanting to come, you come back to satsang. After such a long week, why do you do that? Because so many didn't. Why did they not, and why did you? Too tired? Maybe. Too tired? It's okay. These aren't judgments, but you should know these in yourself of why you come and why you return. Too exposed? So, I've told this story. I think it's a good thing to tell and retell. The first time I really met Ramana Maharshi, I felt that he saw me. And it felt extremely naked and exposed. It was the most vulnerable I think I ever felt. And it was just a portrait on the wall. But so exposed, so naked did I feel that I literally took my left hand to blind my eye as if to hide from the one they called Bhagavan. My little fig leaf. In satsang, in the light of truth, falsity is revealed. Shadow is exposed and removed. This is the removal of darkness, of ignorance, the identity of the runner, chaser, hider. Identifying in the conditioning of attraction and aversion, of shame and arrogance, pride, of I-ship, of doership, of experiencer, we feel very exposed, identified as the conditioning, identifying ourselves as conditioning. When the condition is exposed, we want to run away. But you are not your conditioning. Yeah? The light that you see that is that exposes, that reveals the shadow and removes the shadow, it is to show you your own light. It's to show you your own light. And if you continue to identify as that which is exposed, well, then this will persist. And it will persist for many, probably all, for some time. It's how it is a moth in relationship to the flame, so drawn to it, but it gets singed and then flies away. It's not unwise. But when moth comes to a flame, it turns to fire itself, then it turns to ether. And that same moth that is now, it is in the ether. Where is it not? That moth last night that caught the lamp was consumed in it. The wind is now taking. Nothing is lost, ever. Nothing is ever lost or gained in the totality. So mothness now merged into ether, air, ether is being carried now. And in a week, a month, a year, where will it be not? A drop falls into the ocean. How long does it maintain its separateness of drop? You see? Your conditioning is just this drop, just this moth that has. And I'll tell you, even little bit less attached to it is so much happier. Little bit less identified in your conditioning is so much happier in the relative. In the relative. It's a good exchange. It's a good exchange. Even if you just want to be happy in the world. So. And at the same time, you alone are responsible for how close you fly to the flame. You must know your edge. just like in practicing hatha. I say this quite a lot. This is important. You are an adult. You come of your own free will. I tell you what is available here. You either stay or you go. You are free to come and go. But this is for freedom. And you yourself, you must be responsible for your own edge. I can come this close today and closer maybe tomorrow, and each day is a little different, and sometimes I just need to run away. It's okay. And you are obliged to be true and honor your own self, even identified in your conditioning. And you are always free to come and go. But this is what is happening here. There's nothing that, there's no recruiting, there's no even attracting. There's just, I'm here, I'm available, you come and go as you like. You see? Right. But the one who goes through that process of clarification over a week spent together and with me, and comes again on Monday morning, well, now you know how sincere you are and what you really, truly want. It's very good. Your sincerity will ebb and flow just like everyone. And your edge will ebb and flow with it, and you must be true to yourself. So, something more?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I like the retreat a lot, and I cried for the first time in years, I think, after it. But I also laughed later on in the day. But my question is more about how to integrate it more into myself, into my daily life. Because you mentioned, I think that satsang can be anywhere, can be anytime, no matter where you are. But I find it a bit challenging sometimes, and also can be very interesting. I had a few times where just after satsang went out into the world, and some things happened where there was one time I was riding on my bike and I was passing someone else on the right side, and nothing happened, but the lady got very upset with me, and she was shouting, and so some things like this have happened, and yeah, I think the difference is that in say in real life, you have to deal with people who come with fear, who come with anger, and so it's like a minefield sometimes, and makes it very interesting and also very challenging. And that some other things like we talk about conditioning, but conditioning can be very different from person to person. I had a gentleman, he bumped into me on the road. I was with my back to him, but still from his reaction, he acted like it was my fault. And I managed to keep silent. And another time, a lady bumped into me and she immediately started to apologize. Sorry. And I noticed that's also conditioning. And it looks a lot better, but she's still probably reacting from fear. So, yeah, I guess my question is how to help to integrate this, and also without, I think my sin sometimes also is pride, where I go into the world and say, oh, I will forgive all these sinners.
Yes.
And then, of course, the opposite happens, and then I'm angry with myself.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you. First, no such thing as other. It's all one, and it's all the one I. And we come to know this. I'm going to share different frameworks And each one of them are equally valid. But I like to start with the truth, which is there is no such thing as they, or him, or her, or she, or them. And you will come to know it this way also. So take that as good news. Take that as good news. And I'm not, and it never should be said to steal one's experience from them or to shame them in it. But I feel in satsang, we start with this, which is there is no such thing as other. Next layer is there is other only by your interpretation. And that world is mirror for you to help you navigate your journey home to your own self. It's like the world becomes like the stars to an ancient mariner with his or her sextant. Where am I? Where am I coming from? And where am I going? Triangulating the stars, one sees, where am I? By triangulating the world of experience through your perceptual powers, your sense perception, you can come to know, by triangulating world experience, you come to know who am I? Who am I in my conditioning? And then using that as a navigation tool, releasing that through forgiveness or neti, detaching, then you will come to see the I that is not navigated. Never left, is not returning, is already and always has been here. So that's another framework and valuable. The next is where there is other, and each one sovereign, that this unity is in a vast and complex diversity. And each one is a bubble, like a soap bubble universe unto themselves. The film being the conditioning, the veneer of perception and projection, casts a hue on what is and is the basis of experience. And each one having their own, and some clusters can gather like sea foam. Eventually, with your two eyes, even as your one eye clarifies, your two eyes will see this in effect. And now, and in this framework, the posture is loving kindness, developing compassion, knowing that their objection to you is based on the film of their own perception. Many people see a white beard and a man and are offended by it. And even the words I say carry the hue of it. It's okay, it's no problem. You see? There was a funny experiment. So somebody did a little funny, mischievous experiment. They took the words of Michelle Obama and attributed them to the First Lady, Mrs. Trump. And some people loved it and some people hated it, but only according to their view of Michelle Obama. And they did the opposite as well. We don't know. We are always in a confirmation bias. We say so many things, have so many opinions, but it is only what we are perceiving as a confirmation bias. So if you see this in yourself, this is the path to freedom. If you see that this is what's happening in others, then you can't blame them because they don't know. In your posture, just like you said, somebody rear-ended you and you just sat quietly, and somebody was offended and you sat quietly, and somebody was so apologetic and you just sat quietly, this is the right posture. It is a posture of loving kindness, of compassion. This is wisdom. And it is a wisdom that out of which discernment will develop, and you will see it as it is, and you will see them as you are. And eventually you will see them, that you see them as you are. You will see them as you are. There is no me and mine, and there is no they and them and theirs. It's not real. There is only we and I. Everything else is a confusion, truly. You don't need to clarify anybody else's confusion. I don't need to clarify yours even. It's not my job. You have to do it. Bob Marley says, none but ourselves can free our mind. This is true. I can only point or reflect. It's not my job. But I knew that way, and I now know this way, and I will tell you this is better and truer. We are still obliged to be in the world loving and kind and compassionate and engaged from the place of acceptance, soft, supple, confident, quiet. And we feed the hungry and defend the helpless. But if what we bring to that is our agitation, we are dearly confused and not helping, actually. Simply fueling, fanning the flames. Impassioned. Swami Satchidananda would tell this little story that a man is driving down a country road in his pickup truck and he sees a barn on fire. And so he races to the barn and he jumps out and nothing is available to help put out this fire. So he looks in the back of his truck and there's a can of gasoline. Would only there have been water, but only there was gasoline. So it's all he had. So he used this to extinguish the fire. This is the ego racing into the fray to help. Where there is agitation, only agitation will grow from this seed. And so truly, as we are still in this confusion of me and mine and them and theirs, then we come ever closer to this loving kindness. Even in the face of anger. Because you know there is a deep wound. The one who's yelling at you, blaming you for his mistake. It's a deep wound. We've all done it, haven't we? Been so angry at somebody for something we did. Recently, I called somebody out for something that they had promised to do and then didn't do. And I said, you promised to do this and you didn't do this. It was just matter of factual. They got so angry at me, but they knew that it was true. I wasn't upset. It's just what was. You see, we don't like the one that shows us who we are. When we identify in that, we don't like it. We don't like the light. When we identify with the shadow of conditioning, we don't like the light. We don't like it. But what you're doing already and what you've described is you are already having this intuitive understanding, and this is how you are very naturally posturing yourself in the world. And so I want you to know the path is this. You through the practice of forgiveness, of contemplation, of neti. I am not my conditioning, and they are not their conditioning. You forgive with reckless abandon. Forgiveness is nothing really more complicated than detaching from your conditioned identity, which has never been you. In this moment isn't you, actually. And in this, developing this, you will begin to see the play of inner and outer, and the boundary of I and world becomes more and more blurred. Chasing and running and hiding seem absurd, as in, like hiding would be like playing peekaboo, I'm hiding, you can't see me. This will clarify for you, and you understand that there is no running, there's no escape from truth that is and has always been, you see. And then as you develop this wisdom of, oh, this is how it is, it's actually not against me at all, it is in fact for me. The one who comes against me is to show me, there's still something inside that was hiding, that is agitatable, that can be offended, and I'm so grateful for the one who comes to offend me. Thank you for showing me that I still think I am vulnerable. Then really in this increasing fervor of the practice of forgiveness, you will experience the I and the we as non-different. It is the yoga of seer and seen. I and my Father are one. So this is the way. If you run, it will chase you. If you hide, it gets suspicious and it will find you. And if you chase it, it will run from you. It's a mirror, a shadow dance. You see? So, this is why you turn the other cheek. This is why Swami Shivananda says, bear insult, bear injury. This is the highest practice, highest yoga, highest sadhana, he says. Sadhana, he says. You turn the other cheek. If you retaliate, it is only you're retaliating against your own self, against your own discomfort with feeling separate and vulnerable. See? So this is the way. It's very hard, because even in coming conceptually to know this truth, which is already rare, this is offensive to so many egos, and I do not wish to offend you. Please know you're not obligated to stay. This isn't for everyone, okay? I do not wish to offend you, but this will offend the conditioned ego. And all of this is born of my own experience, of my own navigation, and also you will see is affirmed in whatever scriptural tradition you are drawn to or have been brought up in. It will be revealed as the same path to freedom. So know this, there is no such thing as other. At the heart of we is I. And at the heart of this I is we. It is the yin-yang of... But it's very persistent. But where... But where this diversity leads us, if we are properly oriented in an ever-developing sense of peace and compassion and love, the truth will reveal itself. All the things that are hidden in you and around you in the world are revealed. Do not be ashamed. This is a misunderstanding. It's just conditioning. It's just cause and effect. It is just karma. We could say in a way, it's probably not theologically accurate, but explore this in your own self, that sin isn't personal. Or you could say it is only personal. But you can't really get theology from me because I don't know it. So. Is it okay? Something more you wish to explore?
Yeah. Thank you. Very helpful.
Good. It's very hard. It's very hard. Okay. Welcome.
Hi. I've been practicing Ho'oponopono since we last talked, and I wanted to thank those of you who went to that retreat and asked your questions, because it was exactly what I wanted to ask and felt like I wasn't going to. So you're still helping people. How it's progressed is the first couple days felt like wrestling with my soul on the couch. And I had family members come up and go, "What's wrong with you? Do you have a headache?" And it was just like, I'm wrestling. And from there, it moved into really being able to apologize to the other and to myself and to God. And then it took an interesting turn where from awareness, I could see the thoughts coming in. And the whole thing just feels like changing my relation to thought and almost apologizing to the collective mind or the subconscious, or I don't know where those thoughts come from, but it's almost apologizing to that place for what I've done to feed it. And the part I get stuck on is the "I love you," because I can almost see. So there's two thoughts. There's the thought that comes from the unconscious, and then there's these thoughts of my narrative of it. So the thought comes in, and then I tell it, "I love you," but it's just more thought. It's not coming from that source that I've felt it at times, but it's not there constantly. So that's kind of
Good.
the first point. The second point that really
Can we let's just go one at a time. This is really incredible and wonderful, and thank you. What now is your relationship with thought? What might you say?
I am aware of it and can watch without getting attached, but I don't love it.
Yes. Good. Okay. Let me say this, from where you are seeing it as the one who is perceiving and aware of thought, this is already quite something. So this is very good. From where you are looking and the eye that remains in awareness of thought and relationship with thought, it is not lovable, and so it's not unwise. Huh? And that you say, I don't know where it comes from, but I feel like something, it dishonors the space from whence it comes by having, how might we say, played in it so unconsciously, maybe. Does that sound okay?
Yes.
But the awareness itself now has expanded in, I don't know, I see thought, I'm not pleased by it, I don't love it. This is wise. Do you see also it does not love you?
Yes.
Yes, very good.
And
So,
the mirror shows me.
and
Feel it.
what does?
The mirror of the world
The mirror, yes, yes,
is telling me that.
yes,
Me to the world and the world back to me.
yes. Very good, very good. This is really the dawning of discernment and wisdom. That is awareness, or arrives from the awareness that is being revealed to you by your own looking. Yes? Okay. So, I don't know where thought comes from, but I see it now. Huh? Now your relationship with thought is, there's a distance. The ego, the conditioned, mind-identified ego, equates itself quite mistakenly as the thoughts, as thinker. And this is a really primary seed of what is experienced as suffering. So, some things about thought that I think will be helpful. One, it doesn't come from you. You are not the thinker. What you might call my mind is a reflective mechanism that is aware of thoughts and is able to touch, to develop a relationship. The superimposition of I and thought happens, and this is the me, and now mine arises from this. You see? Is it okay? Okay. So, thought, I want you to see where it comes from. Huh? Subconscious, it isn't enough. It's fine. Yes, there's an aspect of it. It comes from subconscious. Means unseen, not in your conscious awareness. But it belongs to past. All thought belongs to past. Isn't it? If you know the thought, and the thought has word, and the word is I know, arrives out of past. Now, without past, you don't know anything. And also, in this now, not knowing anything, this is not a problem. In fact, it is the absence of problem solver, and absence of problem maker. None of them are different, actually. Different expressions of the same one thing. Thought and I know belongs to past. If you identify with it, you also belong to past. Meaning, not now. So thought identification, the mind now is reflecting. Reflecting means past. Some light from a star, it took some millions of years to travel here. That light that you see now is past. That star may not even exist now, in that expansive, all-encompassing now. Now isn't limited to Earth. Now is not the light that reaches Earth in this moment. Now is all-encompassing, actually. Do you see it? And this I that is now is also omnipresent. It isn't localized to body. It isn't localized to Earth. It isn't localized to solar system. It isn't localized to galaxy, metaphorically, and also not metaphorically. So, this is all you need to know to proceed from here, is that I know belongs to past, and I am here now. Whatever your understanding of here now, it is not past. And whatever your understanding of past is, This is just your current understanding. It will continue to expand, and the boundaries of the localized I will begin to dissolve. And this is called happy.
The analogy I've been using to try to explain what it feels like now is what used to be a field of weeds. I've pulled the weeds of thought and past, and where past has tried to go to the future and has anxiety, and just pulled those. And where I'm left is with a bare field, and thought comes up and goes, this can't be it. There's got to be more. But I can't go back to the field of weeds and indulge. And I also feel like, where's the garden? And sometimes I really can spin myself into a suffering of,
Yes. Okay.
there's got to be more.
Yes. Yes. Good. Good. Very good. For the proper posture towards this, to the one who identifies as seeker that wants more, is sorry. This is all there is. The seeker, the one leaning for out of, is this all there is, and toward where's the garden, has a concept of not this and that as preferential. And this is still mind identification. It isn't a problem. It isn't a shame. It's a traverse. This is a tricky traverse. Hopefully you, in the frustration, you can also find the absurdity and the laughter of it from time to time. So there is no and then, there's no next. And the seeking itself leaves from the place where the consummation will happen. But you can only but be still and keep quiet. This one does not have the sentience, the capacity to do anything other than simply be available. And so this is the process of clarity of thought is being revealed. Thoughts themselves will lose their influence over you because you will see them as falsity, not empirical, not reliable or trustworthy. And when you stop energizing thoughts by your own association and relationship with them, they will attenuate. This is called dharana. And the moment you reach for one of these old thoughts, it will reanimate. And then you will go through the process of withdrawing your energy from it, and then it will dissipate. It's so fast to reanimate and so slow to dissipate. It's so fast to reanimate. Faster than the snap of my finger. A Planck second will create an entire universe. A Planck second, do you know it? It is the time it takes for a photon to cross the width of a proton at the speed of light. An entire universe is created in this time and destroyed in the same time. Many, many lifetimes are lived in this, the time of Brahma, a single breath. But so fast to animate and so slow to dissolve. Okay? Then, through the process of not touching, you don't log into the thought, you don't touch it, you just, it is there, you don't push it, because pushing it is just the same as pulling it. It's not different. And gradually your relationship with thought falls away, and as your relationship falls away, you see that you were the very thing that gave it life, and now withdrawing that, past is past. You let the dead bury the dead. You see? Now comes a single-pointed focus. For some it will be the heart, for some it will be the mind, for some it will be the heart-mind or the mind-heart.
That's helpful to hear.
Yeah.
Listening to your heart series, it doesn't resonate as much, but when you say this, it's like that resonates.
Yeah.
And I guess it's same.
Oh, the fruit is the same. The path is different. Yeah. And if the path is of the third eye, it's good to include the heart as a balance. And if the path is of the heart, it's good to include seeing, wisdom as a balance. One can be neurotic in delusion by the path of mind, and one can be drunk in delusion by the path of heart. And so balancing them is important. Slow is fast. And so now one develops this single-pointedness, and the invitation to enter into thoughts or realms of thought, of deities and even mystical experiences and prophecies and revelations. Maybe you go and play in them for a while, but eventually if you can make your way back out, you will come back to your own heart anyway. Seeing it as just more mystical experience is not so different than worldly experience, and really what you're looking for is freedom from all of that. And so the instruction is to simply be still, keep quiet. This is the metaphor of the Buddha sitting under Bodhi tree when Mara comes to tempt him and to frighten him. And he neither pushes her away nor, I think it said he invites Mara to tea, but you come and go as you wish. Nothing to fear and nothing by which you can be seduced. In this phase, every beauty has ugly at its seed, and every ugly has beauty as its seed. The wrapping is not the contents. It's true in the mundane also. So then from this single-pointed and a great deal of persistence and patience and error and continuing to touch by habits where we didn't know they were there, and so much stronger when there were so many habits, now there are just a few, and boy, do they seem very powerful. And you just keep coming back, persistent and patient. And out of this will dawn what is known as samadhi or Christ consciousness. There's so many layers. I'm oversimplifying all of this. And you will be guided. Once you tap into this attenuation of mind, the guidance is there, and you simply develop discernment about what to trust. It happens within you and outside of you also. A great conspiracy for your awakening. And a conspiracy, the own inner and outer conspiracy against your very awakening. Both are simultaneously true. So have fun, be sincere, laugh when you can, because this is a great wisdom.
Thank you.
Yeah. Very good. Okay.
I just want to say thank you to you for creating this space, and thank you for everyone who brings their inquiries. Most times I sit with a question in my heart and it is answered by those who inquire prior to me raising my hand. And as such, I think today the same has happened with the last two inquiries. But I was wondering if you could speak a little bit to help me understand about boundaries. In my perception, sometimes if I realize that there's an unfair dynamic or energy exchange is lopsided, I will tend to, as the world would say, you should keep your boundaries high, or put up boundaries with these things that, can take from you but have not so much to give. But then in my spiritual mind or in my heart center, I also feel that every interaction, as it is said, is a mirror. And therefore, even if I'm not perceiving that there's something for me to receive from an interaction, I am still meant to interact too, because I am receiving ultimately. What I wanted to ask is my perception of energy exchange being like, if you are giving love to someone and you see that you're not getting it in exchange, and this can be, I'm just speaking generally, it's not romantic or familiar, or it is just when you see an energetic exchange with someone who is essentially me, reflecting back to myself, if you see that, am I being judgmental by perceiving that lopsidedness in energy? And with me holding a boundary or withdrawing my energy, is that me practicing aversion or helping to create more separation? And in all my perception of it, is that my perception of that lopsidedness, is that coming from an egoic place?
Wonderful. Very good. Yes, very good. Okay. Let's explore it like this. It's kind of fun, actually. Okay. So, this is a process and a marathon of a process, isn't it? Being self-honest is so important. I have to be true to myself. You have to be true to yourself, even if you're aware that it isn't quite true. This honesty is so essential. So, in relationship to other, let's say, where there is a separate identified me-ness, this one needs boundaries. Needs boundaries, and not only needs them, needs to enforce them. Yes, it's true. Otherwise, you have the mechanisms of the coping mechanisms, or the strategy of me and mine, are fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. And where you have those, they are to protect a vulnerable and separate sense of self. This is honest and good. You must. You must. And forgive. Simultaneously invest in a practice of forgiveness, so that as your compassion grows, your sense of vulnerability will dissolve. It's so slow. I'm sorry it's so slow, but and then the sense of vulnerability and fear will dissolve. It will be replaced by a less personal, a more just love as what is, as opposed to a love that is exchanged or transacted, even on an energetic level. So generally, it is the process of being honest to oneself. I remember it started a bit like this. I don't give a, in relation, I don't give a, and then through the practice of forgiveness, forgiving myself, forgiving us, for, that this practice of Ho'oponopono, of this forgiveness, this I don't give a moves to I don't care. I don't care. It's an improvement, and then continuing with the practice of forgiveness, developing self-compassion and compassion for other, it moves to I don't mind. Yeah. You see? But we move this path honestly with who it is that we feel ourselves to be. It will come to, you will come to the place in an increasingly expansive unity consciousness, seeing you in the all. You will see past versions of you in other. I used to do that. And in your forgiveness and compassion to the other, you used to do that. You are continuing to free yourself from the most subtle seeds of bondage that you're probably not even aware of. And also in relationship to other, you will see what is good for them. It is not good to reward people for their coping mechanisms that lead them further and further into unhappiness. And I'll tell you, from now, seeing it as it is, as it presents, if somebody comes to me with something that will, if I were to endorse it, they would continue to suffer. So one will not get an ounce from me if they come wrongly. And it's not from me. I have nothing to promote or defend, but I want you to be happy. And, if the way we were conditioned as children is a transaction. And oftentimes the child in tantrum gets what they want in some kind of, it's negotiating with terrorists. But if you are transacting and you see that the behavior is not good for the one that brings it to your doorstep, you will just simply withdraw your attention. Lovingly, non-judgmental. Eventually it will be loving and non-judgmental, but, ultimately you will see that any retaliation is the same as anything, fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. They're not different. They're all the same thing, just different expressions of the same thing. So it's a process. And as you show your sincerity of willing to engage in forgiving yourself and forgiving others, your sense of we and compassion will expand. Your sense of happiness will expand. And eventually you will really come to know yourself as you have always been, which is not separate and not vulnerable. It's impossible to really conceptualize, but it's true. Also, I will point you to Patanjali Yoga Sutras. It's referred to as the 4 locks and the 4 keys. This is very simple, and it will teach you everything you need to know about interacting in relationship in the world. Now, I'm not going to tell you, because if you're interested enough, you'll go and Google it, and now you will know it for yourself rather than something you heard as some teaching. So if you're interested, Google it. It'll be right there. And it's very simple. And then if you have a question on Monday, then you can come and ask. Okay? 4 locks and keys, Patanjali Yoga Sutras will tell you everything you need to know about how to engage in this duality that is best for you and best for those around you. It's okay?
Yes, thank you so very much.
Very good. Very happy for this inquiry. It's so important. You see, here we come to non-dual awareness, you could say. I mean, you can't really say it, but I'm going to. That's all I've got. But we come by this on the path of honesty. Yeah? It's so funny because we're on YouTube and Instagram and such now, and occasionally I see these comments and people promoting a non-dual perspective. It does not need promotion. This one would never comment on a 90-second post. It's so fun. But anyway, we all come here honestly, and the honest way is so important. Then when it's yours, it's really yours, and you know it as your own self. Like this, it doesn't need a teaching. It's okay?
Yes, thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Oh.
How are you, Nataraj?
Happy to see you.
Me too. You just talking about when the ego has a reaction, right? Because I was in the morning, in this relationship between others, you know, you go to the coffee and get a cup of coffee and something like that. And I got a bad experience because the girl was always with bad habits, not answering you to the hello. And at that point, I said, wait a minute, why do you disrespect me? Answering in this tone, and you know, I am a customer. I am asking you to pay. And you told me, wait a minute, but in a bad form, you know? I said, what is going on? And then I will another answer. I don't remember exactly, but was not nice, the girl. And I say, each time I came, I don't know what product you have in your home, but you work with the customers. Explaining her. Anyway, answer, no good. And I was observing how I was answering, I was checking how do not, do not have a bad time, only a call of attention if, in order she is aware of how is always.
Yes, this is very good. May I? It's perfect because it's essential that all of this, we see it in our interactions in the world, even at the cafe, at the coffee shop, right?
Yeah,
Getting a latte. Because give me 1 second, because I have it. I understand where you're coming from, and very good. Thank you. So there's this wonderful story on the subway in Japan, and a very large drunk man was being so imposing and threatening to people. And it was really scary because he's a very large man and he's very drunk. And a little man, so peaceful and quiet, he goes up and sits down and he says, do you like sake? Huh? And the man is, he's like, my wife and I, we love to have sake after dinner together. It's so nice. And sometimes we get, and he meets this man in love and acceptance and diffuses the entire situation. Man eventually ends up in the tears that preceded the fear, that preceded the anger, and the threat of violence. And all of these things, the whole world is on a hair trigger of their trauma. And we're all stepping so carefully. And we also, many of us, are on a hair trigger. Somebody called it a minefield. Yes, a hair trigger of identified in trauma. Eventually, each one of you will be able to engage every situation with the same elegance and grace and love that will diffuse these situations as this sensei. But for now, we just do our best. I want you to know this. This Ho'opono practice, it is and will reveal to you the actual power of prayer, which is before the exchange in dialogue or any kind of interaction in the world. Ho'oponopono, the prayer of forgiveness, can absolutely transmute situations in the field of awareness that don't require any strategy for how to interact with people. This is where your work is. So where you are engaged with people who are difficult for you, this is your own mother and your own child and your boss and your employee and the barista and your own relationship with your own self. You are walking a minefield with your own identity. So this prayer of forgiveness, this that will bring you to this place of forgiveness, it actually shifts the world around you. And you can't really know it conceptually because it will seem ridiculous. But if you try it in sincerity and you really pray for this barista, watch and see. You don't need to correct anybody in their behavior. When you find the truth of the compassion for them and for your own self and the love that emerges from that, things change. You'd be so surprised. The one of that is in this unified field of consciousness sees that it's just everybody having a tough day, a difficult life. And the one who can bring love to that without doesn't even need to be a single word. There are some strategies for how to actually be and to lead us into this. And I tell you, one of the most powerful strategies of interacting with difficulty is simply soften in your heart, pause, no response, and just a soft smile and just say, thank you, and go about your way. You do this, you do this. It has an incredible transforming. And also know that when we are agitated, it is to show us that we're agitated. The world will do a very good job of this, and there is an abundance of snarky baristas in the world. Yes. The work is here in those quiet moments of meditation. Truly, I guarantee you, if you do this Ho'oponopono or any prayer of forgiveness with her in your heart and mind, one thing will happen for certain. One is you will no longer be offended by her expression of her trauma. This is certain. You will just say, oh, goodness, very difficult life. I'm so sorry. Without saying it, of course. The second thing that is possible is they also will shift. But this is the least of your concerns. But I have seen it so many times that first I have shifted, and then I've seen others with who there has been evidence of prolonged conflict, all of a sudden coming up and offering a smile and a hug when yesterday they might have wanted really to spit in my face. It is magical and powerful. This is where the real work is. It's okay. But here I want to really invite us in. We're not going to solve other people. We're not going to solve other people. But in coming to a place of forgiveness and compassion in our own hearts, it can shift. It can shift. One more thing. Okay.
Yes, thank you. I was checking, okay, the Ho'oponopono, but also, and that's the point I want to expose, is the ego trying, to of all this, well, it's recently, but all this time, like, trying to get mad. This, I was observing this all the time, this behavior of the mind, telling me the story, again and again. It had no sense. I don't know. It was like a fight, but I was observing and like this, but feel the anger, feel this. And say, but what is going on here? I couldn't understand because I could see everything. This behavior, this reaction or old pattern or whatever. So I saw also the Ho'oponopono with this old version, that reaction. This is trying to get my attention.
Oftentimes, as we come deeper and deeper into compassion, a storm will come, inner and outer. You move into some relative stillness and all of the movement is exaggerated. And it just happens this way. But the instruction is always the same. The wise, responsive posture is always soften and allow. It's never any different. And we can explore every various type of everything, but this is the way by which you will come to your own abundant joy and easefulness. And we call this waking up because the world is in a trance, a dream. It's lost in thought and in an echo chamber of emotion, loopings of emotion. It's called resentment. Even nostalgias and also traumas. And so each one that you are interacting with, and you yourselves still, in an echo chamber of your own emotion, past, and lost in thought, also past. In developing compassion for yourself in this, and you will develop a compassion for others, and developing compassion for others, you will develop a compassion for yourself. This is soften and allow. Whatever is happening in your internal landscape, soften and allow. Invite compassion and self-love. Whatever is happening in your external landscape, soften and allow. Invite compassion and love. This is the way. It is not easy, and you will continue to, the conditioning is so strong, and you will continue to struggle with it. But I want you to know is that sometimes it will flare up, and when it flares up, you can take really great satisfaction in knowing I must be ready to see it at this level. Oftentimes it seems to get worse before it gets better. Our lives are evidence of this, isn't it? So, this is good. All of it is an exploration of you to see yourself in this triangulation. You will come to see that the behavior exhibited by barista or somebody in traffic with you, whatever, you also have done that. Maybe it's been a decade, or maybe several lifetimes, but you also have done that. This is really the wisest practice is this, in the space of your own alone, your meditation, you could say. You practice this forgiveness. And then watch and see. See what happens. See what unfolds within you, and see how the world around you might begin to shift. Not always right away for the better. The world has its own dynamics of fluid, what do they call it? Fluid dynamics? Thank you. Okay.
Something just shifted in me, and you kind of you just touched on it as well. But I am still going to come out and say it. You pretty much answered it, but yes. In any interaction, the question you would ask of the other person, first ask it of yourself. Like in conversations with my sister or my friends, don't you see how you're behaving with that person? Can you forgive them? Can you love them? Why are you doing this? First, like, it just shifted. First, I have to ask it of myself in this interaction before I ask it of them. Before I ask them, can you forgive that person? Can't you see how you're acting? Can't I see how I'm acting now? Can I forgive this person?
Yes. Yes, the wise one will always come back to the source. Yes. And will continue, you know, it will continue to happen for you. And then you just develop this habit of, truly, you know, as you see this dynamic, anything that you might teach, you could say, is for you. I remember when I first started teaching at Yogaville Ashram, people would come up and say, tell me more about this. My husband needs to know about it. My child needs to know. My friend needs to hear this. I would say, no, absolutely not. It was for you. They get mad, but okay, so what? So now they're mad. But no, it's never for anybody but you, ever, in any moment. We remove the plank in thine own eye before removing the splinter from thy neighbor's eye. It's not easy, this. It isn't a condemnation of you either, but it certainly disallows the condemnation of other. Even if the notion comes, so-and-so needs to know this, they would benefit so much from this. First, hear it. Maybe it's a good thing also to share it. It's okay. Offer it. Offer it from a place of honesty and vulnerability and authenticity. I've told this story and I'll tell it again. One time I was telling my children, they were so young, picked them up from elementary school, and I said, somebody was complaining about somebody else's behavior. Let's just say my daughter was complaining about one of her friends, what they did, or one of her teachers. And I said, well, just look at how your friends are in complaint and judging and teachers and all of this. And by that, they make themselves unhappy. And my daughter, she says, Daddy, aren't you judging the judgers? Yes, I was. Offering a very good spiritual teaching. There are so many layered levels, octaves of consciousness. You are always a beginner. I am always a beginner. A novice. I'm not making this up as some kind of false humility. I invite you to listen very carefully when you speak. It's for you. This is very uncomfortable at first. But I tell you, on the other side of the discomfort of this revelation that all of it is a mirror to your past, present, and future, inviting you into what could be, inviting you back into what was, inviting you into an inflection in what is now, what is it I'm perceiving now, how is it I'm feeling now. Is it inviting me into a future that I want, or inviting me into the future called past that I don't want? And you'll see. But when you at first this is disturbing. The mirror can be quite offensive. And somebody who holds up a mirror, you might not like them because it isn't so pretty at first. But anyway, after the discomfort of this, you'll come to see the very good news, because now you will know how to make your own eye beautiful. That makes the world beautiful also. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So when you are clarified in your sight, you will see. Oddly, first, the ugly is revealed. The world does a very good job of this for us. But just as beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so too is ugly. But you see, the reason this is good news is because now there's a way out. Now, finally, there's a way out. Whereas if you take the mirror to be real, well, the man cuts himself shaving and places a bandage on the mirror. The man doesn't like what he sees and puts his fist, shatters the mirror. But once you see this, it's very good news. And now you can see clearly. I remember this it gave me quite a chuckle at the time. I saw that by virtue of mind identification, it was like I'd been driving a car with the rear view mirror so close. And I wasn't aware that I was looking backwards. I just didn't know, because my whole reality was reflected this way. And I didn't know that I'd become so good at driving backwards so fast. And then if you just pull back and all of a sudden the mirror is in perspective, it's very disorienting. You might be a very bad driver for a time until you reorient to past and future. But when we come to see that this is a mirror, that we're so up close, we're so identified in it, now you can begin to zoom out, detach. And you'll be able to see, oh, that is past, this is now, that is future. Like this. And then with practice in this past, present, and future, the now slowly becomes all pervasive. It is clear to you, with even in memory you refer to past, you're doing it now. And that was now, and it's now. No such thing as past. No. Always coming back to the seed of I. Relative, subjective I at first. There really is no such thing as other. And what you perceive as other is not different from we. And when you come to see we, it's not different than I. This is the truth that simply removes the darkness, our confusion, our misunderstanding. Truly, for every interaction in the world, all you need to know are the 4 locks and the 4 keys in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Anytime you have a question about how to engage with somebody, it will take you 2 minutes, read it, and then you know. Whether you succeeded in it or not is, it takes practice, of course. Okay. Hari Om.
Can you hear me?
Yes, good.
Yeah. I know there was a great point where we were discussing. You mentioned and maybe you touched it. So I don't mind if your response is a bit brief here and if you feel like you are repeating yourself. You mentioned about the relationship with the thoughts which are arising. And sometimes I feel like I am trying to observe them, but I still like I'm grinding my teeth while observing. So it's more like an escape, right? And I feel like there is a battle, there should be a battle. And I want to improve the experience of even observing the thoughts. So if you have any ideas there, thanks.
Yes, very good. Thank you. First thing, I am never doing anything but repeating myself, and I am not troubled by it. It's the same thing over and over and over again, different stories, different ways of coming at it, and it's wonderful, And I'm not bored by it, I'm not frustrated by it, and the repetition was necessary for me, and it is necessary. So there's no problem. Some people will actually get bored of coming to satsang. Oh, I heard that before. Yes. The concept will not free you. So this is good. Keep coming with the same inquiry. You can ask this same inquiry every satsang. Okay? All right. This I think is important to say. If you think, oh, I heard that, I understand that, and you still have agitation in your life, then keep coming. But you're not trying to get an A in spiritual teachings, a good student. This is not what this is for. There's plenty of places for that, and it's good, but this is not that. Okay. Thought and relationship with thought. It is iterative, and the suggestion is patient persistence. Awareness seems to expand and elevate little by little. And when you move from one dimension of awareness, of clarity, and there is some forgiveness, some detachment, the I frequency, the sound of I elevates in frequency, and there's a shift. This I is still mirrored by what is perceived as other, but it's shifting. Now, all of you are experiencing these shifts, and you might as well know what's happening. You simply are detaching. If the frequency of I is elevating, and the world elevates with you, you will experience an increase in synchronicities, an increase in compassion, an increase in just joy. But each time you enter a new octave of awareness, the artifacts of the old awareness, referred to as I know, brings with it like a wake behind a boat, or like a echo. And I is always a composite. So many artifacts. So this I is also made up of, in part, past, corporation of memories. So see the pattern of this. Wherever it is you think you are, you rise above it. You're already risen above it the moment that you are aware that you are aware that the thought identification remains. Realize, take a moment and be aware that you are aware of what you said. Thought identification remains. Who says? One that's thought identified? No. It's a really very curious thing, actually. And I invite you to sort of tune in to this kind of fun absurdity, is that you describe an experience that you are aware of, and somehow, like some magic trick, you identify as what you're aware of and not as the awareness. And so there is this push me, pull you. Think of it this way. A large, beautiful jellyfish in the ocean deep. Pushes. Some of the water comes up. Yeah? And then it pushes off of that. Pushes off of that. This. You see? Some of the old water comes back up. Pushes off. Some of that old water pushes up. 4, 5, 6 of these, none of the water from the start is there in that, and still distance to go. As you emerging out of the subconscious of the deep and identified in that, light of sun begins to create some light in the water. Now even you'll begin to see some light. And now the jellyfish is moving towards that. So this is forgiveness, detachment, awareness. If you're clinging to I know, then jellyfish is arrested in its ascent. If you're pushing off of I know into I don't know, awareness will expand. The I thought, for a very long time, it's sort of the fragments, the filings, like in a magnet, the filings seem to follow it somehow and imbue the new I with old, creates juxtaposition of then and now. It's also helpful. And then no artifacts, no echo. In this very moment, it is true, and it is only a matter of recognition. In this moment, it's true for you. And oftentimes in inquiry and satsang, you are speaking from that even relative awareness that somehow still identifies as the object of awareness, calls itself subject, but this subject is an object in awareness. Like the queen has subjects. She has her subjects, yes? Queen has her subjects. To the queen, these subjects are objects. objects that are subjects in relationship to other objects. You are the divine heir to the throne. Subject-object relationship, seen, called viveka. Drik drish viveka. I see it, therefore I am not that. That conditioning that you know of yourself, you know it because you know from the place of knowing, not from the place of being it. It is seen, it's already healed. It makes sense? Yes. This is some great repetition in this. Some great repetition in this is often necessary. And also, a funny thing happens. Two things can happen. One is that you're just not paying attention, and we could say it this way: grace intercedes and relieves you of the whole trouble. But generally, it intercedes when we have demonstrated to our own selves our sincerity. Oftentimes you hear it said, God helps those who help themselves. It's like this. Your sincerity in your practice of forgiveness, of detachment, of neti, whatever it is, then you make yourself available for the swift movement of grace to intercede and free you. Not by your merit, but by your sincerity, you see? A lot of times this can happen, you won't even notice it happened. I was sharing this recently with somebody. One time I got angry, and the anger lasted for more than an hour, I think, and I thought, oh my goodness, this is exhausting. And then I wondered in that moment, I haven't been angry like this for a very long time. When was the last time I wondered I was angry like this? That lasted more than 20 seconds, And I couldn't find it. And I didn't know it was gone until it came back. And I was like, oh, interesting. Kind of a non-happening. Boom. In meditation, you can observe thought. You can observe what it wants you to believe. You can observe how it belongs to an identity of past. This observation, then you just see it, and once it is seen, what it is inviting you into, then you will very gently just say, no thanks, I'm good. With the same kind of like somebody offers you a cup of tea, and you're like, no, thank you so much, but no, not in the mood. Like all of these things, they have been accumulated, according to the yogis, over many, many lifetimes. This lifetime is sufficient enough for any accumulation to explain how difficult it is, but they say even many lifetimes. And so, yes, it can be removed in a single instant of total surrender, and generally takes time. So, is it okay? Something more to... Okay. So... And all of you, take a moment and just, respect and honor yourself for who comes to satsang. This is really the hardest thing you'll ever do. I have such tremendous respect. And I invite you now also in this moment to have such respect for how far you've come to this. Really in the threshold of the highest truth. I saw this wonderful cartoon one time, and it's a traffic jam. And the road splits like this, and there's one sign where all of the traffic says cheeseburgers. And the other one says, I don't know, freedom. I can't remember. Not a single car on the road to freedom, but cheeseburger was a long line. Oh. So this is truly the road less traveled. And here you are. I think every once in a while it's a good thing to give yourself a little pat on the back, a little hug. Good for me. Slowly, patiently, persistently on the exit to insanity, out of insanity. My own and the world. And then, like I say, all you do is you come, bring your worry, your anxiety, your anger, your sadness, your conflicts, your struggles, and you just give it here. This is your donation. This is your tithing. And when you give that, now you can receive what is available here, which is freely given. Who will dare, you know? And I want to tell you too, you don't come for me to affirm your belief systems. Every once in a while, probably just to be mischievous, I'll say something about politics to offend you. See if you're really here to just affirm what you think is right, or if you really are here for freedom. I could argue every side with equal amount of joy and absurdity. And come as you are, bring your challenges of the world. These are the most important. But know that I'm going to lead you out of your belief system and into forgiveness, into awareness, into love. I won't fight you for your opinions and your beliefs and your worldviews. You can have them. And here you can come to this surrender. Okay. Oh, goodness. You know, in truth, satsang is 3 hours. It very often is. But anyway, we've gone 2. And of course, people have to go because they have things to do. But I'm glad you were here, and thank you, love you, love you. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om shanti shanti shanti. Om peace, peace, peace.